I'm drinking, I'm mixing everything that I see in front of me. You get me higher, so higher. C'est la vie. I'm lifted, I can't let go of this moment. Always in motion, like the floor of the ocean. Oh, wherever we go, it's up. Wherever the wind blows, it's us. I'm feeling like a million, I can't let you fuck it up. When we step in the building, we ain't with it, so you better check your ego. Just leave it at the door, cause I can see you through the peephole. I don't need that energy, I'm cool on all these people. It's up wherever we go, it's love wherever we go, and everybody knows it. Better check your ego, just leave it at the door, cause I can see you through the peephole. I don't need that energy, I'm cool on all these people. It's up wherever we go, it's love wherever we go, and everybody knows it. Let's head back to the Sofitel, views of the ocean with a ship sail. Wave au revoir to your old self.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Excited to have you with us right here on the Betting News Network. This is Saucy Sundaze, the All Sauce team. Excited to have you guys here. Thanks for kicking it off with us. Hope you had a fantastic Saturday night last night and you're not hurting too much to start off the Sunday. But if you are, you came to the right place. We're going to make it all nice and fun for you. Thanks for hanging out. That's V-Sauce. That's Just Sook. My name's Sweatpan Jesus. Stoked to have you guys here. Boys, how we living?
Absolutely fantastic. After I unmuted both buttons before talking. It took me a second.
You nailed it.
I nailed it. So
Absolutely.
I'm doing fantastic, as we can see. How are you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm on the struggle bus, but luckily the fare is cheap and I'll ride it out.
Fear is free.
Would you rather ride the struggle bus with anybody else? That's the true question.
No. You guys make the wheels on the bus go round and round, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I actually legitimately do know what you mean. So yeah, for sure. Good stuff, boys. Thanks for hanging out, Chad. Thanks for stopping by. Beautiful slate we have in front of us today. 5 WNBA games that we're going to talk about. I've got plays spread throughout the board already. We'll kind of go game by game with you guys in a little bit. We're going to talk about some NBA news because today there's a deadline for basically we'll talk about it in a second. There's a deadline today in the NBA, so a lot of news and contracts are going to get kind of finalized or kind of moved around. So we're going to talk about some of those implications, some free agents worth targeting as we enter into the true part of the NBA offseason. And then B has some baseball for us, I think. A couple baseball plays from Master Sauce, man. Good stuff. Great vibes. Thanks for stopping by. Brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. Chat, you got 2 more days to get involved with our Casa Dragones giveaway. We've had quite a few people been sending us their DMs of their screenshots of their deposits. But if you do not have a BetOnline account, there's no better time to get involved with the Summer Sippin' giveaway. We're going to be giving away 2 of these swag packs right here. And all you guys got to do is sign up for BetOnline if you don't have an account with that QR code in the top corner of the screen. Or if you already do have an account, drop a deposit. We've already had, like I said, quite a few people sending us their screenshots of the deposits. If you have an account already and you deposit, you have to send us a screenshot or send me a screenshot on Twitter, and I will get it. You entered in the giveaway, and we're going to give away 2 of those bad boys. Casa Dragones. I actually had a little sip of Casa Dragones last night. It was made my night Casa Dragone. Good vibes all around. We'll also be giving $100 to your BetOnline account and something from our store as well. So great giveaway. It's the biggest one we've ever done. Get involved. Go sign up and deposit, and we'll get you guys sorted out.
Did you guys know that tequila is the only alcohol that's not considered a depressant because it's made from the agave plant? I don't know if that's true, but somebody told me that. Chat, check it out.
I did know that.
It's true.
It's why tequila, for every once in a while, like when you're like either out and the vibes are kind of starting to dip a little bit, and you take a shot of tequila and you start to feel a little more like ready to rip roar, ready to go. That's why.
I mean, I almost exclusively drink tequila, so I don't really know the difference.
I know Sauceman does too.
Yeah, big tequila guy, and that's the reason. Because I don't need anything. I don't need anything bringing me down. There's enough.
Yeah, I mean, checking our bet slips is enough, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the amount of fucking baseball cake that I have been sifting through. You know what I am right now? I am that little kid eating Miss Trunchbull's cake in Matilda. That's what.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the graphics department. We might be able to sort something out for you.
Yeah, we might be able to sort you out. Hey, Kanika, what's going on? Kanika, are you wearing a Sook sauce hat? Because he couldn't find it and he was in shambles to start the show. So if you're at the gym with the sauce hat on, thanks for representing, regardless. Chad, thanks for being here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your Sunday, like I said. Sook, Nice haircut.
See?
The fact that Padge can pick that out with a hat on is impressive. He means he can see the fade. He can see it.
Padge's my kind of guy. I already know it. From ATL,
I
made fun from a mile away.
I made fun of Sook a little bit yesterday because we were talking about some graphic stuff that we needed to do, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to the barber, and then I'll do it when I get home." And I was like, "This motherfucker and Vsauce go to the barber like every 5 days. Like, I'm getting texts from these dudes. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm at the barber." And I'm like, "Bro, do you just live at the barber?"
Sook never used to be like this. I turned him into this, and it's honestly one of my proudest moments.
Man,
1800 coconut. Oh my god, I had that at my reception. We ran out of it. My dad had to run out in the middle of the reception. Luckily, there was a liquor store literally across the street. Dude comes back with 2 cases. Absolute goat.
Big bone. Let's go. Keep dropping your plays in the chat. I see Skit's got a play in there of Azura Stevens points already. Love to see that as well. We'll talk about all the plays in the WNBA. I've got 3 so far that I've got circled. I did post a little bit of a parlay as well. Let's go, Eli. What's up? Thanks for stopping by. Also, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. Appreciate you. If you're giving us we go live every single day. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe. If you like the vibes, we'll be live every single day talking through the bets and obviously vibing out with you. So thanks for being here. Let's talk some NBA news, boys, first, and then, like I said, we'll go into the WNBA slate, talk some bets over there as well. But we just got news of this right now over the last half an hour or so. So we'll start there with some news of one of the biggest free agents of the offseason making kind of the decision to stay put here. He's going to sign his contract, I guess. What is it? Player option. He's going to pick it up. LeBron is going to be staying with the Lakers for this season. So far, he's picked up his $53 million option, so he will be remaining. These are this is from our friends at Yahoo. So this is the kind of the top 10, quote unquote, free agents. A lot of them have already kind of determined that they're going to stay with the teams that they're at right now. But there's that aspect. But let's talk about the other piece of news that Sook has pulled up for us. I have no idea what I'm going to say about this because this literally just happened before we started. Malik Beasley has been caught gambling. Do you guys know more about this than I do? I'm going to have to literally look this up as we're talking about it because I think this literally just dropped. But do you guys got any more news about this before we kind of gab about it?
Yeah, so I'll bring it up right here. So what's come out is that they've opened an investigation, and they're being very clear here now that an investigation is not a charge. They are looking into Malik Beasley because they're seeing questionable allegations about him and related to player props. And Vsauce, as a guy that's an absolute slut for 2 Malik Beasley threes, I feel like you're probably the best equipped to talk about this. Do you think his inconsistencies are a glaring thing that might show that he was doing something shady? Or do you think Malik is just an inconsistent player and he might be a victim of the times?
Honestly, it feels like this is a situation where we watched him play. We watched him have the best season of his career. We watched him come off the bench, play fantastic minutes. He was up for 6th man of the year, right? Most threes ever made off of the bench for any NBA player. I think it was just one of those seasons. He was second in made threes, competing with Anthony Edwards for most threes made this season. I don't know. Like, my thing is, if we looked at Terry Rozier, the way he played this season, and he was cleared of all his fucking allegations and everything like that, with the way he played, it's hard for me to think that Malik Beasley was shaving points. If he was betting on his overs, that's still wrong. And it's not like in the UFC where you can bet on yourself. That's still fucked up. But I just really, really, really hope these are just allegations and not true.
Before SPJ goes, I just want to say I feel like Terry got away with it because the dudes that were money laundering and cheating with him were betting the weird markets. I'm telling you, Terry was doing turnovers. We saw one of those boys. We replayed it on the show where he legit did a 360 and threw it nowhere. And it looked like he was trying to pretend like he was out of control. So I think Terry was a different situation, but I like that point, V, that if Terry got away, then he might get away. What do you think, SPJ?
Man, unfortunately, this is going to start happening more and more just because, again, it's sports betting. You guys are watching this show because we're going to talk about some bets as well. But like sports betting has become such the forefront of the sports world nowadays. You see the advertisements for all of them. There's the channels are sponsored by them. So And I mean, and we've talked about this previously too. A lot of the old heads, the guys playing. I mean, there's the famous video of Jordan. Apparently, Jordan loved to gamble. All those guys love to gamble on the planes and like in their rooms and stuff like that. Like they love to play with each other. Either, yeah. I mean, there's lots of well documented situations where a lot of those guys were betting. And now it's become so, again, like we talk about it. KD has a thing where he does all of his picks for the NFL. So does LeBron. So it's not like it's taboo anymore, right? But where's the line? Because I don't, to be honest with you, dude, if Malik Beasley was so confident that he's going to hit 5 3-pointers and he wants to bet on himself, like I have no problem with that. Like, well, that would not be an issue for me. But the issue then lies with guys that don't have integrity that would then want to just like, there's that line of it, right? But like if you told me Malik was just betting on his threes and obviously had a historic season from 3 this season, like I'd be like, cool, bro, cash in on yourself. That's awesome. But like, I don't know. Like, does that weird you guys out?
We should talk to the legislators. I think you're onto something. Players, you can bet on your own overs exclusively. Go ahead, bet on your own overs.
You know what'd be interesting though is like, are we ever gonna know when they bet on themselves, or like why would you not bet on yourself every single night then? 82 games. Like with UFC, it's one fight. You're betting on yourself to win this fight, right? In the NBA, are you taking your own 3-point prop every day, or are you sitting there like, man, today I'm a little bit tired. I don't know if I got the legs in me, so today I'll avoid that prop. You know what I mean?
Let's be real. If SPJ was in the NBA, would he not text UV and be like, bruh, I got a shrimp today? Over my boards, put 10K on for me. Yeah, that's happening. Come on, let's not be naive.
I think that that's been happening, and I think that that's going to continue to happen. So again, like this is the whole situation where we don't know enough about this story. It just dropped, like you said, it's allegations right now, so there's nothing confirmed. It could be something like that. It could be that he was telling homies back at his hometown or something, yo, bro, I'm stroking right now, like bet my overs or something like that. It could be something along those lines. But because we don't really know. And I mean, you got to think that a lot of those guys do that with their homies, especially the younger players, like the guys who know that probably, they have a BetOnline account. They have a DK account, like in their homies.
Draymond with the spread in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, there's all those levels of this. So, I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg. And I unfortunately think that we're going to start having these discussions quite consistently, especially throughout the season. That it's going to happen a lot. So yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly. Like does that say Salter Dog? Like Salter Dog said in the chat, like this is the problem. Cause I mean, us as guys who love the NBA and guys who love basketball, like, and I'm sure how dope would it be to hear Giannis bet his triple-double and then go get a triple-double? Like, that would be sick, right? Like, I would have no issue with that as a fan of the game, of, like, him betting on himself to get that and then get it in a game. Like, that gives even extra motivation, right? But then you have the other side of it, like I was saying with the Jonte Porters and guys that, like, they're literally just trying to fuck shit up because they got either debt they got to pay off or they're just trying to make some money on the side. So, I mean, there's going to be some assholes that ruin it for everybody, of course, and I'm sure that they're going to figure out ways to regulate it. And that's why they probably haven't opened up this side of it, because you can't regulate that. You really can't.
Yeah, it's hard to do it with a team sport. With an individual, a one-on-one thing, kind of, maybe sure. But with a team sport, you're going to have different motivators for different guys on the floor, and it's just going to take away from the actual game that's being played. So I think more than anything, it's that. And honestly, they're getting paid millions of dollars. Like, the amount of action that they need to take outside of the Jonte Porters or maybe the Malik Beasleys on one-year deals, if he is,
he was in the middle of a 3-year 42V. They shut down negotiations because of this.
Exactly. So these are the kind of things, like, books are not taking that much action where it's gonna be like, oh, like, what is $10,000 in one game? What the fuck is that? I know they love to gamble. That's not it. But this is not the way to make a sustainable amount of money by betting on yourself. You're making enough.
I think the interesting thing is too is that.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's not new. Pete Rose, Whitey Bulger getting all those college kids to shave points. Let's not act like this was legal recreational gambling that has caused this. This has been a little bit of a disease that infects people since all time, since team sports got popular and bookies were in the stands. There's a great Forbes short little documentary talking about how the rise of team sports is directly correlated to the rise of bookies being in the stands at baseball games taking bets. This has just been human nature for a long time. And like SPJ said, I think we're going to see this more and more.
I've actually read about that too. So I haven't watched that same documentary, but I read the same thing about bookies in the MLB and how that really brought more and more people to the game. And not, like, I'm not saying that's why the WNBA got popular, but I am saying that it's why baseball's popularity, I think, has blown up quite a bit. It's also why the WNBA's popularity has blown up a little bit. It's not just the fact that it's a women's game. It's the fact that more people are watching said games because people are betting on them. I would say the NFL and the NBA, maybe not the same percentage-wise because they've always had like a pretty big audience, but the same way. More people are talking about the NBA than ever before because people are bitching about props. More people are looking there on Sundays like, who scored a touchdown? Like, we have like our aunts that never watched a lick of fucking football. Like, guys, who should we take today? Like, who should be? Because everybody likes to gamble. Whether you like to gamble on sports or not, everyone likes to gamble.
Well, my sister started fantasy football last year, and now this year she's like, should I start gambling? How do I open an account? It's a very natural progression, V. You're right.
Like, no, stop it. I get your deposit bonuses. You don't get an account.
Well, but I mean, like you said, this is only going to continue, and it's only been happening more and more. And there's obviously the various lines of this that we've always talked about of, like, making sure that you do it properly, making sure that you do it safely. And we talk about it on the show a lot to make sure that if you are going to gamble on sports, to make sure that you do it with, money that you're okay losing, because that's how gambling works and all that type of stuff, especially people getting early invested. But you're right. I mean, that's why, if people love sports, because at the end of the day, most of this circles, unless you're trying to be like a sharp and just trying to bet to win money and like you're not paying attention to the sports, which there are some people that are like that. But most of the time, I would say 80% of casual bettors in sports betting is because they love sports. So they just want to have extra skin in the game and get invested in other ways because they're going to be watching the game anyway. And it makes you enjoy that game a little bit more. It gives a little bit more edge to it. It gives a little bit more oomph, right? And like, I mean, UFC is a perfect example. Like, I'm not a huge UFC guy, and over the last 6 months, I've gotten deeper into it because of finding the analysis really awesome. But also, there's nothing better than smacking a fucking UFC bet, dude. Watching a guy just beat the shit out of someone that you have money on. It's like, oh man, this is awesome. So it's, there's so much levels to this in the aspects of it, and the way that they're going to have to navigate it. Circling it back to the Malik Beasley thing is, it's complicated. And I think that it's going to happen more and more. I mean, you got these guys, like we said, and all the leagues have different rules about this, but you've got all these guys that can actually bet on sports. Like, I don't know how the NFL's rules, they're a little bit more stringent, but I know in the NBA, like, you can bet on all other sports. You just can't bet on the NBA. Like, you can bet on baseball, you can bet on NFL, like, you can bet on those things, and it's okay. As long as it's, I think, in control of what they're talking about. But like, I know the NFL is a little bit different in that regard.
The NFL, but you can do that too, but you can't do it in the building, right? You can't be gambling in the building or on a facility or anything like that. And that's where the issues will maybe arise. And I think it's like this, and I think it also then depends on like state to state too, with all these different teams.
Sure.
So teams in California, that's why Ohtani was in kind of hot water. It's like, yo, you've been in California. Sports gambling is fucking illegal in California. So you're doing something illegal, not just the fact that you are doing something against the team, whether you're betting on other sports or not. You need to follow within the rules of that state.
I got the rules for the NFL.
Okay.
They are never allowed to bet on the NFL.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to have people take action for them.
Okay.
They cannot gamble inside of team facilities or stadiums or road facilities. They are not allowed to share insider information with anyone they think is going to place a wager. And they're not allowed to gamble inside of physical sports books during the NFL season. Off season, you're allowed inside of sports books. You're not allowed to play any daily fantasy football. Those are the rules.
Wait, daily fantasy football. Okay, because I was gonna say NFL players play fantasy.
I think that ropes in Prize Picks and all of those other ones.
Yeah,
I
was just thinking more like the fantasy pools that I know, like some guys like Austin Eckler and like AJ Dillon kind of participate in. But those are just like season-long pools for fun. I don't even think those are with money. Like, I think it's just prizes for the fans that they do it with.
This is actually hilarious too. Every single team facility has signage that there is a gambling policy in place and that you are not allowed to gamble on the premises.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I mean, the Titans left tackle 2 seasons ago, Nicholas Petit-Frere, which he's not on the roster anymore, thank God, but he got caught gambling on his phone in a team facility. And this was before the rules were a lot more clear And I bet you when he got in trouble for that, because it was pretty well documented, that a lot of players were like, oh, fuck, I'm glad they didn't catch me doing that because I've been totally doing that. And I'm sure that was a wide thing that apparently they were like, okay, we got you, but let's just make this a blanket rule and then everybody else can follow suit now.
You make an example of the guy that really doesn't matter to the team. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's how it goes down. But that's why you like, as a guy on like that far close to the bottom of the roster, you really can't be fucking around, man.
I think this is the problem, V. Full gambling policy is included in every player's player manual at the start of the season. A packet is distributed to them, and players must sign and acknowledge that they have received the packet, the manual, and its policies. How many of these guys are just signing this thing, never opening it?
Oh, 100%.
A lot of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, they ain't reading the fine print. Or they're having somebody read it for them, and then that person doesn't tell them all the different rules that they're signing. So
I bet this also applies like games like card games. You know what I mean? You have all like 52 guys, all like heavy hitters, guys that have grown up their entire lives just hitting each other, and now they're playing card games, and now money's on the line, and people are getting into fights. That's probably not something you want in the facility.
Let's hope Ace Bailey's agent reads him the gambling policies and everything he needs to know.
That guy's still in the car. We're gonna go, doing this.
Yo, Ace, bro.
Did you guys see they had fucking Carlos Boozer on the there to receive him? I was dude, this is fucking crazy.
Hilarious. All right, let's table this gambling conversation because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's talk about things we're going to bet on. But a couple more pieces of news. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about these. I just wanted to kind of bring them up since they happened. And we're big NBA guys, obviously. Bojan Bogdanovic has retired from the NBA, no longer going to be an NBA player after a really awesome career. Dating back to his days, obviously playing in Europe and overseas in Euroball, and obviously with FIBA playing for Croatia. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but Chad, I would highly suggest you go check out his statement that he made for his retirement. What a classy guy. I mean, we've always had really high respect for him as a player. And again, I'm not going to go read it, but go check out his entire thing. He talks about his career, his path, and how it's like the first sentence is, sometimes in life you don't choose the moment chooses you. And basically, because of the injuries he's dealt with the last couple of seasons, it seemed like that he finally thought, for quality of life, it was time to turn the page in his career and not play basketball anymore. And I don't know, man, just with all the world we have right now, boys, and like everything that we deal with on the daily, talking on the timeline and seeing all the different types of people and stuff like that, like just seeing somebody that has, like, you can just tell, like, has lived a really incredible life, got really blessed to play basketball in lots of different areas, but also seems like is a very respected person in the industry, go out like that is really cool to see, because we deal with a lot of bullshit nowadays, a lot of people that have zero integrity saying stuff all over the place, and so it's nice to get reminded that there are some good people out there that have integrity. So shout out Bojan Bogdanovic for an awesome career, and we all had fun betting on him in particular portions, watching him play over the last 5 or 6 seasons especially. So yeah, any thoughts on Bojan?
Huge Bojan fan. We've talked about it all the time. I love this guy. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see him play as much here in this last season. And honestly, I applaud him for making that decision. We saw with Dirk too. We've heard him talk about how hard it was for the first few years after his retirement, just because of pain and injuries that he played through, and sometimes getting out of bed, rainy days, things like that. Like these multiple surgeries, the multiple nights, the multiple seasons of 65, 70 plus games, they catch up to you. And later on in life is when you really start to feel it. So I know he's got a family. Best of luck to him, and I hope him a long and fruitful retirement. And I loved him, and it's sad to see. I didn't know that until right now, until the graphic popped up. So wow.
Well, we'll see him on coaching circuits. I'm sure we'll see him still around the game, because I think it was Dwayne Casey that said this, but he is one of the most purely talented players he ever coached. We saw him when he was healthy. He'd borderline 20-point score. I always really, really thought that eventually he'd end up the 4th or 5th best player on a championship team, and everyone would be like, oh my God, like just like TJ McConnell or Sean Livingston, just like these dudes that play a decade plus, and like they're absolute hoopers, but they've always been in their role. So sad to see, but he's one of those guys that like in 10, 15 years, random dudes or us are like, Bojan was a problem. And I'm glad that's going to be the case.
The Knicks, when they traded for him, he was supposed to be a much bigger piece, and I think everybody was kind of left wondering why he didn't play more. Now it kind of makes sense. Health was more of an issue than it was anything else.
There was a replay on the timeline that popped up of where he got that foot ankle problem stemmed from was like going for a loose ball with Nicholas Batum, and Batum kind of fell on his ankle kind of weird. And even in the statement that he released, like I was just showed on the screen, he says like, the foot surgeries the last 18 months has just been, he tried to get back and tried to get healthy. And at the point in his career where he's at now, I think he's 36 or I would say 35
Yep.
or 36.
Yep.
You got to make a decision. And he probably, there's not many LeBron James playing at 40-year-olds out there. And you got to make a choice in your life. It seems like also that he was ready to turn the page. From what I was reading, it seemed like he doesn't want to be involved with basketball for a while. Like he kind of wants to really turn the page on basketball. So you're right, Sook. I think he would be a good coach or something to do with an organization, but it seems like that he might just, some guys like Jokic, when Jokic retires, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that dude for like 5 years. Like he's going to disappear. And I respect that. It's like some guys don't, like some guys love basketball so much and it's like becomes a part of their identity. And then they find it really, which is why a lot of these bozos get on podcasts and start talking about it stuff because they played in the NBA, because they can't move on in their life. Like they don't have anything else to grasp onto. So they have to like keep the NBA basketball identity in their life because they don't have anything else.
I'm convinced those guys, they don't love ball. They cling so hard to the image of themselves as hoopers, but they don't love ball. Because if you love ball, you're talking about what's going on. And like a simple example, Michael Redd. If you see him talking on the timeline, the way he tweets, he's in love with the game. He's always talking about the players and how good they are. And Halliburton's a superstar. He's talking about second-round draft picks. Hey, I know it's tough. You don't want to be drafted in the second round, but this is where shit starts, not where it finishes.
And this is a guy who lost his career to his knees.
Exactly. Just giving great advice, bringing up players. He is a great follow on the timeline. And those are the kind of guys that love hoops, man. Sorry, we're getting
Bucks legend, Michael Redd, deep cut.
Absolute
I like that one.
Dude, Michael, when I was growing up, I've been playing video games. Michael Redd's 3-pointer was a big favorite of mine. That guy could shoot the fucking basketball, man.
I also like that we lost to injuries as well. Indiana's Danny Granger. He was a little bit of a problem. Big burly, beat him up basketball. I like his game.
Yep. It's there's obviously Bojan, kind of congratulations on a fantastic career. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him in the next chapter of what he does with his life. So I want to bring up one more piece of news, boys, and then we'll kind of jump in and talk about today. Because there are 5 WNBA games, and we're going to talk about. I have 3 props. One of them you guys are going to hate, but I'm going to make you bet it with me, and I'm going to convince you and tell you why it's going to be awesome. But just want to give a big shout out to and flowers to Candace Parker. Candace Parker's jersey is being retired today by the Sparks, and they're playing. We're going to talk about that game in a little bit. But at the game today in Los Angeles, Candace Parker's jersey will be retired. So shout out to Candace for obviously an incredible WNBA career and everything she's meant to the organization of the Sparks, to the WNBA as a whole, and now, boys, to basketball. She is, if you know Candace Parker in the business world, like she has become a business mogul. She's obviously big time in the coverage of the NBA and the WNBA for, I think, Yahoo next year. She's going to be either on the prime coverage or on the NBC coverage. I can't remember which one it is, but she's going to be involved with one of those. So getting her jersey retired today. Again, we'll talk about that game. That's the second game on the slate between the Sky and the Sparks in Los Angeles. So she's getting her jersey retired, man, which is well deserved with what she's represented to the WNBA. So, boys, shall we jump in and talk some bets for today? I've got a few things. I know Sook really wants to avoid talking about the WNBA, but the slate is really nice today. There's 5 really nice games. We're going to make Vsauce give us some random side that he likes. I'm sure he's going to find one. NZ wrote about the last game of the night. If you want to go peep his scribbles at bettingnews.com, which is between the Storm and the Valkyries. We'll finish off talking about that game in just a second. But let's jump into this first game, guys. We've got the first game, which is the Liberty traveling to Atlanta. The Dream are 1.5-point dogs at home. The Liberty are 1.5-point favorites here. Pretty much a pick 'em on both sides of the money line. Liberty 11-4, Dream 10-6. One of the kind of not surprises necessarily, but with how good this team has been so far to start the season. Alicia Gray playing like an all-star. Ryan Howard, obviously, and Brittany Griner, and oh my God, I just blanked on the forward. Brianna Jones. Thank you.
There you go.
There it is. Got there. And obviously the Liberty kind of been sputtering a little bit over the last 3 or 4 games. Missing Jonquil Jones, obviously, in that lineup, but they've got Ionescu, they've got Stewie, they've got all the pieces in place. So this should be a really good game. If you guys want to also go check out, because Shaggy's in the chat. Hi, Shags. If you want to go check out Shaggy's plays on the pitch, there are 2 pitch games. Actually, there are multiple pitch games today in the Gold Cup and in the Club World Cup. So go peep his scribbles and get involved with what he has over there. Messi is playing against his former team. Should be a good game. So go check out Eddie Scribbles and go check out Shag Scribbles as well to get involved over there. All right, Dream, taking on the Liberty. I got to play in this game, but preliminary thoughts before I give you guys what I like in this one. What do you guys think about this game?
Honestly, looking at just the line is kind of interesting here. You're seeing 58% of the money on the Liberty +1. You're also seeing 73% of the bets on the Liberty money line at -108. But the handle is a lot more spread out. You're seeing 53% of the handle on the Atlanta Dream at -1 and 50% of the handle on the Dream's money line, despite, like I said, 73% of the bets being on the Liberty. This is a situation here where we know the public is going to be honestly on the Liberty. They've lost 2 of the last 3 games, right? The Mercury looked good the other night. In my opinion, this is a spot where the Liberty are still on a 4-game road trip. They're looking to go home after this one, looking for a little bit of rest. This might not be the best spot for them. They had 3 games on the West Coast. They played in Seattle, Phoenix, and I think it was Los Angeles. Or no, the Valkyries, sorry, Golden State. After those 3 games, they hopped on a flight, and now they're in Atlanta. That is not an easy trip to make, especially when you are from New York. That's 3 different time zones. And honestly, the ladies may just be looking to go home. The -1 line here, too, to me, feels a little bit sus, SPJ. Like, we know how good this Liberty team is. We know the talent that they have. Is this a spot where the Atlanta Dream get the job done? Do they continue to slip?
The Liberty have kind of been scaring me over the last week or so. It's been tough to kind of not watch, but Ionescu getting banged up and obviously Jones missing time really kind of messed up the trajectory of where this team was going. Because, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, this team hadn't lost a game, and everyone was wondering if they might go through the whole season undefeated. And obviously that ship has now sailed. But they missed Jonquil Jones. Sabrina coming back from that neck injury is obviously taking her a little bit of time. She's had some poor shooting performances the last 3 games. So I think that it's a good spot for the Dream. They've been really good this season. We've talked about it. They're good at home too. I really like Ryan Howard. I like her RA at 9.5. I didn't bet it straight. I put it in a parlay, but I think that's a great parlay piece. These guys also just played on the 17th of June. The Liberty won that game by 5. It was in New York though. And I really like the RA for her. She had 9 assists and 7 boards in that game. I think she's going to cook again. She's obviously the ball. Her and Alicia Gray kind of go tit for tat. We've talked about this quite a bit with their relationship as a 1-2 punch for the Dream. And I think that I think she's going to do the same thing again today. So love the 9.5 RA. You can find that at a playable number in most places. I did ladder it for a little bit of a sprinkle for a lotto, like I said earlier. But my favorite play in this game, though, is on the Liberty side, like you were talking about, V. Now, Brianna Jones has been fantastic over the last 4 or 5 games. And I have tried to get on the right side of Sabrina having a bounce back game a couple of times, and it has not worked out. But I think today's the day. 17.5 points is the bet that I have for Sabrina Ionescu. You can take her PRA if you would rather, but I'm taking the points over 17.5. She had a 34 piece against this team. Like I said, on the 17th. She's had great games against them previously. She had a good game against them when they played last year with a 36 piece as well. She's due for a good game. She's been really poor shooting the basketball over the last 3 games, like I mentioned. Not like her at all. I think that neck thing kind of took a little bit more for her to get back into the groove. And I think that this is the perfect spot to do so. So, again, I'm not betting this purely off of like, oh, my God, she's hitting 5 straight games or whatever. But she's had good games against this Dream team. this is a good bounce back spot for her. And I really think that Sabrina is going to come out and hoop. I like the 20 plus for I really like the 20 plus for a sprinkle as well. You can even go to 25 if you want. So Sabrina's the play for me straight. I also, like I said, really like Ryan Howard in the spot too. And I don't know, man, sidewise, it's too close for me to take. I wouldn't want to take either side here. Should be a good basketball game though to start off the day.
One more point about that, I'm just seeing this now, is that this is an afternoon game, right? This is a game for the Liberty are coming in with less than 48 hours of rest. And I don't know, but from what I've seen, it's super tough in any sport to like have less than 48 hours between games, be at the end of a long road trip. And now you've gone from the West Coast to Atlanta. This is a tough spot, I think, for these girls to kind of get up here. And Atlanta's coming off a loss to the Lynx on their home court in overtime, yes, on Friday, but they've had the comfort of their own home for the last night and a half, and they're looking to respond after a tough fought loss against one of the other best teams in the WNBA.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where if you feel like that you've got a good read on a side, I mean, take a money line or something, or take the spread, because I could very easily see either one of these teams winning by 5 to 10 plus, like no doubt about it. If the Liberty come out, like you said, V, and maybe they do want to go home, but they want to get their lick back on a couple bad performances and a good spot before they go home. They've beaten this team in the last 10 days. Nothing wrong with taking that side of things, but again, it's a little too close for comfort for me on the spread or a total. I kind of like the total. Maybe the over 164.5 feels a little low for both of these teams offensively. I really feel like both of these teams can score some points today. And like you said, afternoon game, maybe we're seeing some offense and not as incredible defense, but we shall see. So, anything else, or shall we keep it moving?
No, that's it. Just decide for me.
Are you taking the Dream?
Yeah, I'm taking the Dream. I am taking the Dream.
All right,
I think I have one or two more sides. These sharp spots have been working, but you kind of have to stay consistent with them, right? Because the second you stop betting the sharp sides, the second they start cashing. So I've got a couple of spots. I'll talk about the splits as we move through this slate, but it's been fun. I honestly shout out Dave Mason for kind of putting me on this and making me realize that, hey, look, these lines are soft. There's sharp money coming in. People don't really want to fuck around with baseball. So this might be the place where I bet my sides.
Okay, there you go. You'll get more and more in the props too. I know you will, because the lines are even less sharp on the prop side of things.
They don't move.
They really don't. It's very surprising to me. I mean, I've been betting Shakira Austin's points for the last 6 games, and she had a bad game one game ago, but she hit her points yesterday, and it was still 14.5. And I don't understand why they're not moving it. I mean, I keep taking it if it's still 14.5. Shakira. And she almost cashed us out, dude. I'm so pissed that.
Dude, it's okay. Ward didn't get there.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you. All right. That game's at 2. So let's move to the next game on the slate. Games all day today, chat. So it should be fun to kind of, if you want to sweat out some WNBA, I'm going to force these guys that we're going to cook a parlay at the end of the show to ride it out with me. Next game, as I mentioned, in Los Angeles, the retirement of Candace Parker's jersey in the Sparks Arena. The Sparks hosting the Chicago Sky. 8.5-point favorites are the Sparks here. Sky have been playing a little bit better over their last 4 or 5 games. Angel Reese has been absolutely cooking. And the Sparks, like I said, both of these teams just played 4 games ago. Let me just pull it up here real quick and see the actual game where they played. I bet on Dearica Hamby in that game, and she got the job done for me. When did they play? The 24th, so 2 games ago. So yeah, about 5 days ago. But this is the one that you guys are going to hate probably. But I'm taking it.
Of course.
We're rolling with Angel.
I don't hate it.
We're going with Angel. Boy, she's just been spectacular the last week. She really has been. 17, 18, and 19 rebounds in her last 3 games. If you want to just take the boards, you can go that direction. But she has been scoring, and as Sook has been pointing out, which we've been talking about, her assisting has been fantastic too. She's been really good facilitating. She's been doing a little bit of everything. She had a great game against the Sparks team when they played, like I said, a couple games ago with 18, 17, and 6. I mean, this line's too low. If you want to take the RA instead, I like that bet too, because again, she does go through stretches where she can't really score consistently, but we're seeing the progression. She's learning. She's getting better. Her RA has smacked with ease. It's 16.5, just rebounds. Purely off the rebounds, it's smacked. But if she does have a game where she doesn't grab as many boards, 16 is not really a standard, I don't think. So, but dude, set it, forget it. I'm going to keep taking this until they move this line again. This line should, in my opinion, the PRA line should be 31, at least with how she's playing right now. And the Sparks don't really play defense. So I think this should be a fun game. She's obviously, last point on this too, Angel Reese is the type of player that obviously we've talked about her be on the petty side, but she also is the type of player that gets up for these big moments. And I would assume as a young lady, when she was growing up, she probably emulated her game or wanting to be similar to Candace Parker because of what Candace Parker meant for a lot of young ladies at that particular portion. So being in the arena, I'm sure Candace is going to be there. I'm sure that that's going to mean something to somebody like Angel Reese. And I would imagine she's going to want to put on a good performance for in front of her in this particular situation. So I love the PRA. I love the ladder. You can take it any way you would like to. And she's already had a triple-double. Why not again today if this guy can make some shots? So, yeah, I really like Angel. Don't know about a side, so maybe, V, you have some thoughts on a side in this game. I kind of lean maybe with the Sparks to win by 10+ here because I don't really get the spread, but maybe you have some better insights on that.
Same thing. That's exactly it. We're seeing 53% of the bets here on the Sky plus 8.5. I think a lot of that has to do with the recent play of Angel Reese. She has been fantastic. But you're looking at a Sparks team who isn't at the, I would say, top tier of the league, but really isn't near the bottom of the league either. They're more in the middle here. An 8.5 point spread for them does feel kind of heavy if I look at it like just from a guy who doesn't know as much about the league. But when you're looking at it here, you've got the narrative of Candace Parker and her jersey being retired. It's a Sunday game in Los Angeles. The vibes are going to be immaculate, like you said. And this is a spot where I think that maybe books are kind of telling us that Angel Reese and this Chicago team have been playing fantastic on the back of Angel Reese. Not to say she's not going to have another big game, but the play of the Sky outside of her has kind of remained from what we've seen, right? And I think that the vibes are going to be high for the Sparks team at 8.5, 73% of the handle on the 8.5 for the Sparks, despite 53% of the bets being on the Sky plus 8.5. That's a huge discrepancy, in my opinion. A lot of people, the public mainly, looking at this one and thinking that, hey, 8.5, too many points. The Sparks really aren't that good. But if you're sharp, you're looking at this like, why is Vegas giving us a line of 8.5 here in this situation? Always more than meets the eye, and I think that I'm going to roll here with the 8.5 here just because of the huge discrepancy.
Well, and the other part of this, too, is that, like I said, these teams just played 2 games ago, and the Sky were dogs in that game at home, and they won by 11. They won 97-86. So why is this an 8.5 point spread towards the Sparks back at home? Like you got to look at it and go, what are we saying here? So I also, just to give you a prop that I did look at as well that I like a lot, I bet it last game. So I talked about it with, I think with Padge, and we talked about this a little bit more, but Dearica Hamby, I like her assists a lot. It's at 3.5 again. It was plus money last game. Now that they've bumped it up to, it's minus 105. So still great value on that particular line. She's had 5+ assists in 4 straight games against the Sky dating back to last season. The 4 has hit very consistently too. I really like that line. I really like that play of the over 3.5. And then if you want to take it up to the 5 as well, that's not a bad spot either. So yeah, I really like Hamby there. I don't like the RA as much. It's a nice hit rate too, but Zura Stevens also steals a lot of rebounds from Hamby. So it's one of those kind of back and forth situations. So the assist is kind of more my favorite play there as well. Anything else you guys like in this game before we keep it moving to the last 3?
No, just big shout out to Hamby. I talk about this all the time with the NBA, but the Sky are bottom 3rd in assist to turnover ratio, and they're really not picking up blocks or steals in the top half of the league. That basically tells me that ball handlers are going to have time and space to operate. And an emotional night tonight, who knows? And we talked about this before too, that the Sky give up a high percentage from 3. So I think this game is going to be a very good one, especially to the point that V made and you made that, like, hey, this is Sunday in crypto, jersey being retired, Angel Reese in the building. This should be a fun one. And I think that everyone will get up to play for this one. I really like the Stevens look from your boy Skit. She's been scoring well, especially against the Chicago team. So that's definitely always a look. And this Sparks defense, if you're looking at the Chicago players on the other side, This Sparks team, they don't get blocks. They're 12th in blocks. They give up the 13th worst 2-point percentage in the league. So both teams will have room and time to operate for different reasons, but these are bad defenses. They got glaring holes.
Bad defenses, both of them. So, and again, like we talked about last time, I took Kelsey Plum's threes in this matchup, and she did not get the job done. She shot really badly in this game, and that's part of the reason why they ended up losing.
Did you see Kelsey's reply to a post? I don't think I sent this to you guys, but there was a post made by a WNBA writer. The name escapes me. I apologize, but he basically posted a bunch of the superstars, their shooting splits for the last about week, and he was like, "What's going on in WNBA?" And Kelsey Plum just replied, "We tired."
Hey, Satu said it too. We tired. Hey, fair enough. Go play some more, Kelsey. You'll be all right.
We need these conditioning coaches to step up their game. Come on. What are we doing?
We need scheduling in the WNBA. We need scheduling.
Yeah, schedule for sure. Like 5 days off in the middle of the season. I don't think that does more to give you rest. I think it just does more to like add rust to you. You know what I mean? What are we doing with that? 6 days off and then 3 games in 4 days? Like
it throws off the rhythm completely. Yeah. But anyway, I would totally not be surprised if she hit 4 or 5 threes in this game. Like after what we saw against this team previously with the, as you said, all the narratives in this game, I could totally see this Sky team still sucks ass stopping threes. They're the worst in the WNBA. So
Rakea 2 threes is plus money, but I ain't touching it again. Watch her hit 4.
Exactly. Somebody's gonna. I think Azura Stevens hit 4 threes against them last game. Somebody was gonna hit 4 threes, and I knew it was somebody, and it was Stevens. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Plum today. We shall see. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to this next game. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to probably watch this game. I'm super stoked about this game. The Mercury taking on the Aces. Phoenix has been spectacular, and I got great value. I'm glad NZ and I sniped this, betting them 15-1 to win the championship. They're now like 7-1 or 6-1. It's basically split value. This team's cooking right now, man. Alyssa Thomas looks amazing. Satu's been fantastic. They destroyed the Liberty the other night, and the Aces have been sputtering. We've been talking about this quite a bit. Asia's been really good, but the rest of the team, their guards especially, are just not figuring it out right now. 6.5-point faves are the Mercury, over-under set at 167.5. And this is probably my favorite bet today. And like I was saying to you boys about lines that aren't moving the way that they should, I don't understand why this is a playable number. Alyssa Thomas over 15.5 rebounds and assists. I did take a stab on the 10-10 once again. She almost got me there against the Liberty in that game. This is going to be a consistent bet for me moving forward until they bump this line to 17 or 18.5. She has absolutely demolished this line. She had 15 assists against the Liberty. She had 15 and 9 in that game. I think that this is one of those situations where she has finally gotten healthy. I think she kind of got banged up to start the season. And then it kind of messed up her kind of getting in rhythm with Satu and Copper coming back as well. Now they're cooking. And Alyssa Thomas is playing like she's playing kind of like an MVP. Not going to lie to you. So I don't hate the PRA either. If you want to take the points as well, she has been scoring, but Satu's been amazing, especially against the Aces. She has hit her points in 3 straight games, 20 plus, and 3 straight games versus the Aces. So I would not be opposed to taking Satu's points. And then last point on this before I pass it to one of you guys. I mean, Asia Wilson, it's not, chalky to say just take her points, but she has cooked the Mercury in her career. She had a 40-piece against this team last year. She had a 30-piece against this team last year. Again, last year, the Mercury were a completely different team. A lot of new pieces here, so it's a completely different team construction. But she has destroyed them, and she is also due for a big game. So I don't hate Asia in this spot. You're getting a lower point line for her. 25 plus is a very playable plus money value, and she could do that with inner sleep, especially if this game gets going, gets back and forth. Yeah, I could see Asia having a big game today. But again, Alyssa Thomas RA is my favorite. I love Satu's points too, and I kind of like the Mercury. I think they should win this game.
That was my question. You touching that 6?
What do you think, V?
This one's a little bit weird. The betting splits are a lot more even in this one. 52% of the handle on the Mercury, 6.5, but 48% on the Aces. But when you look at the money line, it kind of flips. You've seen 72% of the bets on Mercury money line, obviously it being the juiced leg, but 54% of the money or 54% of the handle is on the Aces. So I don't know if sharps are maybe thinking that the Aces are due for a little bit of a bounce back spot here. Mercury have also come off now 2 big wins in their last 3 against the New York
Mhm.
Liberty team. Is this a spot where we've seen so many times in major sports that there's a little bit of a letdown here, right? Like this Aces team is desperate for a win. Asia Wilson is now back in the lineup, right, SPJ?
Yeah.
She's back in the lineup. They still kind of haven't gotten it together. They're really due for a little bit of a bigger win here, and they have the talent to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised. We know that Satu hasn't been the best on the second night of a back-to-back, and why this is not the second night of a back-to-back, it is still like basically within 48 hours. It might be a little bit of a tougher spot for this Mercury team, but I don't know. I'm staying off the side or total in this one.
Man, now that I'm looking at it more, dude, I got to take Satu's points, man. It's 17.5. The numbers sketched me out when I was looking at it. Her point line is 17.5 for plus money. Why is it 17.5 for plus money? She had 25 against the Liberty. She had 28 against the Aces when she played against them last season as a member of the Wings. She's also hit this in 6 straight home games. She's hit this in 14 of her last 18 home games this season. I mean, set it, forget it. Don't overthink it. Like, Satu's probably going to. And last point, this too, we talked about this with this Aces team. They don't play defense interiorly. Asia's a fantastic defender. She has won Defensive Player of the Year previously. But besides that, they don't play defense interiorly. So they're the second worst team allowing points to the forward and the center position. They're the second worst team rebounds allowed to the center and the forward position. They get bruised up down low. And I know Satu can score from anywhere, but I think she's going to cause them a lot of problems defensively. I'm going to not overthink this. I'm taking the 17.5 as well. So add that to what I got going on here. I think this could be a fun SGP game. There's some other props that got dropped in the chat as well that are worth taking a stab at too. But you guys got anything else on this one before we kind of keep it rolling through the last two?
That feels good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Have some fun with that game though. As I said, Asia also cooks. She's due for a big one. We could see that today. All right. I don't have a lot of thoughts on this game, but we can talk about it for a second before we move to the last game of the night. The Connecticut Sun, probably the worst team in the dub. Not going to lie. They're not very good, unfortunately. They got some nice young pieces, and I'm sure that they're going to start to figure it out as they keep it rocking and rolling. But they're just so bad. And the Lynx are so good. So the Lynx should win this game. It's a 19.5 point spread. I don't want to touch this game. I don't like any props in this game. This game could turn into a blowout. And then Collier has also been banged up. So if it does turn into a blowout, she would sit the fourth quarter. She might not. She could score 30 on them in the first half, and then it's not even a sweat. Or she could, get 25 or 23 or something and then hook you on her points line. So nothing from me in this game. But then I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this one, or we can just skip it and move on to the last one.
Sharp money's on the Lynx. 74% of the handle we're seeing, despite just like 50-50 split on the amount of bets. But again, this might just be a situation of not as many bets coming in on this Lynx team or on the Connecticut Sun. 20 points is a shit ton of points. And I'm not taking a side in this one either. I do have some thoughts on this last game, though.
I'm a little annoyed with this one because I did have something circled, and it was a totally NBA-style bet for me. Anissa Moreau. She played for the LSU Tigers. She was great in her first 2 years. Then that LSU team popped the fuck off. Obviously, we know with Flo J and with Angel Reese, but she was a great player. Now was the 7th overall pick. And boys, in the last few games, she has been hooping. But I'm not seeing her lines anywhere. She's a good player. She's a good scorer, and I just don't know why. This is kind of frustrates me about the WNBA, but this chick is playing like under 25 minutes a game, putting up double-digit scoring numbers. How bad this team is, they definitely want to see what they have in the 7th overall pick. And this is, if anyone can snipe this, I think Anissa Moreau 10 points is definitely a look, especially if this turns into a blowout.
10 plus is plus 138 or 125 that I'm seeing right now. That's bettable. So you can definitely get involved with that. A little closer to this game, I'm sure it will come widely available. She also had a double-double in her last game. I'm not seeing her rebounding stats in front of me right now, but great bet. Inzi, I think, reposted some of her stats on the timeline as well, so I'm glad you brought her up. Bruh, I mean...
I do skip.
Dude, her 15-plus, which she has had in 2 of her last 5 games, I know that's not a great, but she's not been playing that much. She's finally started playing more in the last like you said, the last 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Her 15 plus is plus 620. And she just had a 20 piece against Seattle. And Seattle is a good defensive team. So
her college stats are fucking unreal, bro. In her
Mm-hmm.
sophomore season, in 33 games, she averaged 26 points per game. This was definitely someone that had to take a back seat to generational talent, but that doesn't mean she ain't impressive herself.
And now she's getting a run because, I mean, the Sun, what else do they need to do this season? They need to figure out what they got. I mean, you know what Tina Charles is. So I like the 10 plus for the value. It's a great bet if you can find it later. I'd be down to put it in our parlay if you want.
Yeah, I do like it. Remember when I was texting you that I was trying to find at least one good thing to bring up? This was it.
This is a good one. And like I said, NZ, you have to go find it. I wish they would bring up her rebounds because,
yeah. And
this is all. I'm not worried about this play too from the perspective of she's probably going to play 20. She should play 25 plus minutes, regardless of if it's a blowout or not. If anything, the blowout helps her play even more.
She'll be playing against other scrubs, and she might find out she's a lot better than the other WNBA scrubs.
Word. All right, good stuff. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about her. Good shout. Let's go to the last game. As I said, NZ wrote about this game at bettingnews.com. This game is the last game of the night. It's at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central on the West Coast in the most popular arena in all the WNBA right now in Golden State. The Valkyries hosting Seattle Storm. 5.5-point favorites are the Storm here on the road in Golden State. I'll sell NZ's bag. You guys got to go peep the scribbles on what side he likes. But I have a feeling that B is probably going to say the same thing that NZ liked in this game. But what are we looking at from a side here? 5.5 points is a lot of points for this Valkyries team, especially at home. But the Storm are no joke. What are we thinking?
I think I might be on the other side of this one, man. The Seattle Storm minus 5.5 has kind of piqued my interest here. 64% of the handle is coming in here, despite 56% of the bets being on the Valkyrie plus 5.5. And this is a Valkyrie team that just won by 6 points at home in this exact same spot. Seattle Storm were coming off a homestand, going on the road, first game on the road, stopping Golden State. And what did they do? They lost by 7 points. Wasn't the best game. I was on the Valkyrie in that one. Was fantastic. But this is a spot where 5.5 points right after the loss. We know how good the Seattle team has been this season. I think that this time they start this road trip out with a big win instead of going out the way they did last time. I think 5.5 points is exactly calling my name. 64% of the handle, despite 56% of the bets being on the Valkyrie at 5.5. I love the 5.5 here for the Seattle Storm, and that'll be my third and final bet here in the WNBA.
Ooh.
All right, now. So you're going against NZ. NZ likes the Valkyries to cover.
Sorry, NZ. Wish I beat the scribbles first.
Hey, at least somebody's going to win. One of the homies is winning. It's tough to want to fade this Storm team. The Valkyries, as we've talked about, have been really good, but the Storm, they're my second favorite team that's not like a top team to possibly make some noise in the playoffs, with that Mercury team being the other one. We talked about them a lot. I like Gabby Williams here, over 8.5 RA. You can take her PRA if you would like. I haven't bet this yet because this is later. I kind of want to do a little bit more research on this before I decide exactly how I want to take it. So I might take the PRA, but either line looks nice to me. She had a bad game against this Valkyries team when they played previously, because the Valkyries won by 6 when they played last on the 14th of June. She had 9, 3, and 4. But if you look at it, that was kind of an outlier in how she's been playing this season. And I have a feeling she's going to want to get her lick back based on how they played against this Valkyries team previously. So love the PRA, love the RA at 8.5. The RA is one of those plays too, where like, if you can find a way to ladder it, because when she hits her RA, she absolutely crushes it. So love Skylar Diggins too in this game. Yep, there you go. Her points looks nice. She's been cooking. Her PA. I feel really, I don't like to toot my own horn very often, boys, but you guys remember at the beginning of the season how I said that I thought Skylar was going to have an incredible season, bouncing back from, the divorce and not being able to play full minutes over the last year and a half from having a baby and stuff. Dude, I feel really great about that take. She has been awesome this year. She looks determined. She looks pissed off that she's been like forgotten as a top player in the dub, and she is playing like it every single night. And it's one of the reasons why this Storm team is so good, because she has been driving this ship, man, and it's been awesome to watch.
I was just gonna say, it's really translated into wins for her squad too, which is always like just so nice to see, right? Like somebody that's playing at a phenomenal level and winning games. It's fantastic.
And her points line has not moved, SPJ. Talk to me why it's still where it is when she's hit this line in 4 straight games, and also playing this Golden State team, which the last game of the Commissioner's Cup, they lost inside of Golden State. So they're going to want to get a little bit of revenge, I'm assuming, tonight.
She had 21 points in that game. She took 16 shots. She's taken 14 plus shots in 8 of her last 9 games. She is the engine that drives this offense. Sometimes she turns into a little bit more of a facilitator versus a scorer. But from the games I've been watching, I mean, she's a good 3-point shooter, but she can get downhill. She can get to the cup. Onyeka can be really great at portions of the game too, dominating. Gabby Williams is obviously more of a slasher, and they do defer to her sometimes to score. But I think Skylar is their best offensive player. Her points, her PA is nice too, which is 24.5 if you want to rope in the assists. But I mean, the points looks great at 17.5. Nothing wrong with taking that. And as Austin just said in the chat, the threes is a nice play too for plus money. Not as high a volume 3-point shooter. She's probably only going to take 5 to 6. I know, V, that really
you got me.
1.5 for plus money. There you go. Speaking language. It is though, dude. It's the same sweat. She's going to take like 4 or 5. So you got to hope she shoots 40 to 50%.
These are the kind of sweats that are going to get me through the summer, boys. I'm so fucking tired of sweating 1.5 total bases and sweating every 15 minutes as the rotation comes around. I'd rather sit there and sweat and watch her brick threes. At least it'll make me feel something.
No, it's a great plus money bet. The points is nice too. The 20 plus for a sprinkle is great for plus money as well, because she's, like I said, this just to kind of give another angle on the Valkyrie side too. Kayla Thornton has been awesome. We've talked about her a lot. Her points, she just is coming off her career high in their last game. So cool to see her develop in this, getting a chance to be the main lady for a team, and she has just been great. So her 15.5 points, I mean, that line stayed the same too. And she's hit that in 8 of her last 9 games. She just had 29 against Chicago. Not a great defensive team. The Storm are a better defensive team, but she had 22 against this team, like you said, when they won the game against them last time. So I don't hate Thornton 15.5 either. The PR looks nice too at 22.5. She had 12. She had a double against this team when they played last with 12 boards. There's a lot on the slate today that's really tasty. I gotta not take stuff I want to take and just kind of maybe put some parlays together, because otherwise I'm going to have 12 straights today. But it's should be a fun game to finish off tonight though, boys. All right. Good stuff. B, I'll let you give us a couple plays on the diamond, and then we will start cooking. Chat, hope you guys enjoyed talking the WNBA. Drop what you guys liked in the chat as well. We'll kind of get to the point where we cook the parlay. Respectfully, V, I don't want to include baseball in the parlay, if that's okay with you.
I don't want to.
Baseball has sold us on the last couple lays, so let's let you just cash on your own and let that be a thing. So what are we looking at on the diamond?
Let's hope, because speaking of too many straight bets today, that's exactly what I've got. So let me hit you rapid fire. We're starting it off in Cincinnati. We've got Manny Machado up against the Reds, over 1.5 total bases, minus 110. The matchup here is fantastic for Manny. He's had great success against Nick Lodolo in his career and great success against left-handed pitchers. Against lefties this year, he's hitting 275 with 8 home runs. And on the road, his batting average jumps to 317. We know that Petco Park is not the most hitter-friendly park in the world, and Manny's been thriving outside of it. 8 of his home runs have come on the road here. And against Lodolo, he's batting 333 in his career. He's absolutely mashing lefties, and I think this is another good spot for Manny to get his over 1.5 total bases, maybe even a home run in Great America Ballpark. Fantastic spot for home runs. Next, we're going to the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, the over 9.5. You got Lauer on the mound going up against, I don't even know who the Red Sox have on the mound, but we have some big hitters in both lineups. Barger, we have Vladdy, we got Bo, who's been really good as of late, and then we've got George Springer, who has been fantastic here on the road. Then on the other side, a guy like Trevor Story and Jaron Duran on the Red Sox team that has honestly been a lot better despite losing one of their best players. Give me the over 9.5. Conditions are fantastic. Winds blowing out and toward the Green Monster. Feel like the ball might just fly a little bit extra in a divisional matchup here in the AL East. And last but not least, my boy, Big Dumper. Dumper, big dumper.
He's got a
Over
great
1.5
ass, as
total.
Al Pacino would say. And you got
Kyle
your head
Lowry-
all the way up in it.
Kyle Lowry would be proud of this man right here. Cal Raleigh over 1.5 total bases plus 100. This man is batting .385 against the Rangers this season. He has 5 home runs against this team. The last time he was in this park, not the last time because he's played 2 games now, but he had 2 home runs earlier this season in this very same park. He's got great numbers against Later. He's 2 for 5. Both hits were home runs. So fuck it. Last game here in Texas for the Mariners. You got Later on the mound, who's been a little bit worse at home this season, giving up 1.6 home runs per 9. And Cal's just a guy who feels like he's due after 2 games, no home run. Feels like a spot where Big Dumper gets it over the fence. So give me Cal over 1.5 total bases and his home run at plus 265.
Bang. Nothing wrong with taking his home run. Also, I know we joke, boys, but Austin asked us the other day from the Plums for hitters to hit home runs, and one of them actually did go yard, and all 4 of them got a hit, and that was in his hit lay that he put together for plus 340. So, sometimes when you don't overthink it, you look at the stats real quick, and you put it together. Every once in a while, shit smacks. So
shout out Sook's 1-0 record on the diamond.
Yep,
what
he's going
the
to
fuck
retire
was
now.
his name? CJ
CJ
Abrams over
CJ
1.5
Abrams.
HR.
Yep. All the
1-0,
guys got a
baby.
hit. 1-0, baby. Just retire now. Just while you're ahead,
You can tell people you're 100% MLB better.
Mm-hmm.
MLB
Start selling your Discord. Look out for at Jess Sook in Discord with all the MLB locks. It'll cost $69.69 every 2 weeks. So get involved. All right, guys, great stuff. I like the Big Dumper play, to be honest. For his basis for plus money should just be an auto bet at this point, regardless. But again, I don't want that in the parlay, respectively.
No, we got enough WNBA to cook a nice basketball lay. We don't need none of this diamond bullshit.
SAUCY 4, baby. There is stuff on the pitch today, too, chat. Like I said, Shags has got some scribbles out there for you guys at bettingnews.com if you want to bet some of the Club World Cup today or the Gold Cup. Our buddy Eddie has also got some scribbles out there as well. So get involved with that. So why don't you change 5 at least for betting news, in my opinion?
Charge or charge?
Oh, charge. Oh, no. Free content, baby. Free content forever and ever.
If you really want to pay us $5 to subscribe to the Twitch, that's always nice and helpful and stuff like that. That's all we want.
Literally just sub to the channel and subscribe, and you guys being here is the best part of it. So that's why we do it.
Love you, those Heat.
Yeah, we do. Appreciate you being here. And dropping the bangers in the chat. Okay. So where do you want to start? I think we avoid the Liberty Dream game just because it's in 2 hours. And so it'd be kind of sad to watch a lay die on the first leg in the first game. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the Sky Sparks game? You guys feel good about Angel Reese?
I can get down with the PRA.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, she's really due to miss, but I don't think it's going to be today.
Now, would you guys rather Sparks minus 8.5 or Storm minus 5.5 is the question. Because if we're not going to do the Dream and we're going to stay off of that one, those are the two sides in the W that I'm liking. And I don't want to fade NZ in the parlay, but
I don't know about the Sparks. I like this sell job a lot, and I agree with you, but man, 8.5 is a lot of points for this team.
Should we just fade NZ?
He's gonna text us and be like, "You guys are motherfuckers, man."
Last leg of the parlay. Could you imagine? Fuck.
Sure. Let me just start building this out with Reese, and then we'll see where we get to.
With Reese, one leg. Chat. He doesn't like any of my legs today. I don't know if this is what it looks like.
No, I'm down to take the Storm. I just where did Sook go?
Turn his camera off.
I don't know. Are you okay?
Yeah, I had to sneeze, and I knew it was gonna be super violent.
That was like 45-second sneeze. Did you sneeze in slow motion?
No, I had to sneeze, and I obviously had to blow my nose, man. We don't fucking focus on it.
Oh my god.
We could also do what Ma Martinez is saying, and we could do the Dream. and then start it off that way. And then if it ends up selling, then we could rebet it with the last 4 games and do it that
I
way.
am down to do that because then we could take the dream.
We can just take the dream money line just to win.
Just to
All
win.
right, let's do that. All right, dream money line. Angel Reese 30+ PRA. It's bumped up. See, I told you that 28.5 was a joke. You guys down to take Thomas RA, or do you want to do Satu? We got to do one of those two ladies in that Mercury game.
I think Thomas.
Let's do Thomas.
RA.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hang on.
What was it, 10.5?
Damn it, I've got to switch. Yeah. No, 15.5.
15.
Yeah. I mean, we could do what Austin's saying and just take a play in each game. And not be soft.
6 legs?
5. There's 5 games.
Oh, yeah, I can't count.
Let's do that. Fuck it. They want it. Let's do it. It should be fun. Let's do.
Okay, so we've got Angel. We've got the Dream. Now we've got Alyssa Thomas.
RA.
What are we taking in this Lynx game?
We'll take that girl that Sook was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have lines for her?
I do.
Ooh, Anissa.
Hang on. Anissa. We could just do all props. Oh no, I want V. I want you to feel good about one of your sides being in here. So We'll take the Dream. I really like Ryan Howard's RA, which I think will help the Dream win. So.
And if the Dream misses, we'll still have a saucy 4 to repent.
That's true. Yeah. Well, then we'll just switch it to the saucy 4 then. All right. So hang on. Where is this lovely lady?
He does not like Dream money line at all. He's made that abundantly clear in the chat. Love you, Skeet.
You can leave it out. Anissa Moreau points 10+ is plus 140. Is that what we want?
Took.
That's gonna juice the lay heavily.
I don't want it to bust it though,
dude. I mean, that's the only thing in this game I feel good about touching is Collier playing or is she out?
I think she's on the injury report, but I don't think she's officially out.
Bruh, she might sit, to be honest. Let's do Moreau. You liked it. Let's rock and roll there.
10+?
B dot. We should start doing that. Like if with the one person sells a lay, we have to like a punishment or something for it.
I just fucking tender my resignation now.
I can show up on my desk. All right. Angel Reese, PRA, Dream Moneyline, Alyssa Thomas, 15.5 RA, Anissa Moreau, 10 points. And then the Take Us Home, Tuck Us In the Valkyries and the Storm game. Should we take Skylar points?
I was going to say I like Gabby, Skylar, or even just the Storm, 5.5. I like them all.
Let's not do the Storm because I don't want to fade NZ directly.
Okay.
B can fade him and text him about it and tell him that he's going to fade him. But
I'm also 0-1 against NZ, so there's that. So
there's that.
As we all are.
Let's take Skylar 17.5 points. All right. So let me actually fix this real quick. Give me a second. Chat, this was just for you because you guys asked for it. So there you go.
Saucy 6. There's a good ring to it.
Saucy, that's 5. You want it to be 6 again too. Both you boys. All right. The Dream money line. Alyssa Thomas over 15.5 RA. Angel Reese 30+ PRA. Anissa Moreau 10 points. Skylar Diggins over 17.5 points plus 24.36.
That'll do.
That's nice. That's nice for a 5-legger. That'll do, donkey.
There we go.
You can tell V was like, I need it. I need it in my life.
I was gonna say something.
I need it in my life. All right, there we go. Plus 2,000. One leg, one play from each game. Let's go. We did,
Owen. We did. I was sitting here praying that it's all lies. All lies. I pray.
Go watch the replay. We had some thoughts. Yeah. All right. I'm locking it in. Here we go. Bing bong. Good stuff, boys. Chat, thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out today for your all-sauce team for your Saucy Sundays. We talked through all the WNBA. We gave you guys some bets on the MLB, and we gabbed about the league and the NBA. I got one thing to say that we didn't talk about at the beginning because the guys wanted to get to the bets, which is fair. I got a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear my theory before we get out of here?
Absolutely.
Always.
Now, I don't know how I feel about this theory, but LeBron James picked up his player option, so he's making like $53 million this year. It's been widely documented over the last 24 to 48 hours that he does not know how much longer he's going to play, but we all think that he's going to for sure play this year, obviously with the player option getting picked up, and I think maybe even plays another season if it goes well this year. But he wants to win a championship. I mean, as all players do. I think that the Lakers might trade LeBron for a superstar center to pair with Luka. And then LeBron goes to a contender to compete to win the championship for 2 more seasons. And you let Luka be the driving force of the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward with some sort of superstar center from some X, Y, or Z team. I don't know how that would work. I'm not saying that it is a guarantee. I don't know how you would maneuver that because I don't know a team that would then want to give up a good franchise center type of piece for an old LeBron James, but just an idea.
Okay, just to play on this theory, right? To play this game, you send him back to Cleveland. You bring back a great young piece and a guy like Mobley, some other contracts to make the money work. Mobley's probably due for an extension here coming up soon. And now it makes sense for LeBron to have opted in. Because you opting into $53 million and wanting to win a championship in LA, that doesn't make sense. Either give the maneuverability or take your fat stacks and go play somewhere else. I don't know, but that would be insane, SPJ, if you just called that.
I was thinking about it. I don't think the Cleveland's not going to want to get rid of Mobley. I think they want to build their franchise around Evan Mobley, especially with what we saw from him last year. But maybe Jared Allen. I mean, Jared Allen can catch lobs. Jared Allen can be a big defensive center for that team. Miami could be interesting. Get Bam to town. Send LeBron back to Miami one more time. Run it back with him and Hero and an off night. I don't know.
Bronny has to be part of the deal. 100%. Bronny's got to be part of the deal.
Sook hates this
Sook hates
conversation.
it. Sook hates
he
all
literally
of it.
hates this conversation.
Jared Allen for LeBron James? What are you handing out crack in Nashville?
Hey,
Bro,
man.
Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic for a bag of chips, Sook. We can't say these things, man. These things happen.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball just went for a bag of chips.
Lonzo Ball doesn't have knees.
No.
I'm just saying these things are happening in front of our eyeballs. We can't say that nothing is out of the ordinary. Like, why would LeBron opt in for a $53 million contract if he wants to win a championship?
He don't want to
Because
win.
no one's paying him 53.
I get it, but he doesn't need the money. He wants to win another championship.
$500 million in career earnings.
He's a billionaire. He doesn't need the 53 mil.
Yeah, but if you're saying he wants a championship, his best opportunity is next to Luka Doncic, not next to anybody else.
Next to Luka Doncic and what else? The roster is barren. The roster is barren. They have nothing. Dorian Finney-Smith opted out.
You're telling me if we take even Evan or Jarrett off, because I know we agree Evan would be a stretch, but say that did happen. If you take either of those guys off that roster, they weren't good enough this year to beat the fucking Pacers. You add LeBron to that team at 41 years old, that's not doing anything either.
Well, okay, but you've got to think about it this way. Well, what does the East look like right now? You guys, the Celtics in influx.
LeBron could run through the East as it is right now. Like if you put LeBron and Luka's Lakers in the Eastern Conference, they come out the East. Do they not?
But they still have to play the team in the West.
I know. Yeah,
sure.
Okay, but it's about getting to the finals, and then you can figure everything else out. But I'm just saying, I don't think it happens either. I think he should have taken.
I don't think so. I think
he should have taken a pay cut and just brought more people to LA. $53 million for a 1-year deal feels unnecessary, man. Feels unnecessary.
He was second team All NBA.
He was 100%. But it's about winning games. Every other superstar did it. Tom Brady's done it. You do things to structure the team. Jalen Brunson took a pay cut.
There's no Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting there for LeBron to go join. That there's no team
No,
like
there's
that.
not. But I'm saying in LA, you take the pay cut in LA to build the roster to give the team more flexibility.
He's not taking a pay cut in LA with those taxes. Ain't never happening.
But again, then it's not about winning, right? It's about money. It's about money.
It's what you're owed.
Yeah, I think he's worth the 53 mil. No
it's
doubt.
His player option. He negotiated that and he got it. And if he declines his player option, there's the over 36 rule. He can't even sign. There's no fucking point of him fucking around in free agency like that because there's rules against older players signing long-term deals. So for him to just opt in on this also saves their cap hit. They know exactly how much their cap hit is going to be. If he declines his option and hits free agency, his cap hit will be larger than he actually makes. There's a lot of nuances to this, boys.
Yeah, I understand. And you don't have to mansplain his contract to us. We understand it.
Yeah, and his cap hit wouldn't be as much, like $53 million if you take a significant pay cut. Yes, I understand that. He doesn't sign long-term deals anyways. He's been signing 2-year deals for the last 6 years.
The reason why I'm lost here a little bit is why is LeBron taking a pay cut? Why?
So they can pay a center.
So they can bring in better players.
It still wouldn't give them any cap room. Like he would have to take down to like 30 mil to even create 10 mil in cap space.
I'm not saying that I just wanted to venture, which I'm glad we're having this discussion now, I guess, to venture the possibility of the fact that what if LeBron doesn't finish his career in Los Angeles? We all kind of think, I think as all of us sitting here right now, think that LeBron James is going to retire a Laker, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
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 The question I have though is, all right, so we're sticking with LeBron staying in Los Angeles, right? With a healthy, slim down Luka looking to win the MVP this year. Yeah, all right now. On this list that you guys can see on the screen, these are all the kind of players that are either free agents that have either opted into contracts or are available to be traded per whatever you're looking at. Where do you get a center from in this particular stuff? I mean, Miles Turner is obviously one, but it's looking like he's probably going to stay in Indiana. You got maybe I've heard some rumblings that Brook Lopez could be an option because he's unrestricted, or Bobby Portis, either one of the guys from Milwaukee.
To me, it doesn't feel like any of these guys move the needle. Like an aging Brook Lopez who looked lost on the defensive side last season alongside Giannis doesn't seem like the answer. Clint Capella, who wasn't getting minutes behind a guy like Okongwu, doesn't feel like the answer. I just don't know who's available here on this free agent market or even through trade that the Lakers can afford to bring in and solve their problems. And then especially have to then deal with the depth issue. There's a depth issue in Los Angeles that hasn't been talked about hasn't been solved for the last 3 to 4 seasons. Very top-heavy team, but after that, what happens? Right. And that's what comes out to play when you go up against teams like Oklahoma City, Minnesota, and teams like that. And I think that's exactly what you need. You need some flexibility for depth.
Mm-hmm.
But
what do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, I think there's a reason why they haven't made a move. There's not a move to be made. You don't just make moves for the sake of making moves. If you go look at all the free agents, there's not really centers there. It's very slim pickings. A guy like Bobby Portis, who's restricted, he'll get picked up real fast by the Bucks because he knows that the market is soft and the Bucks are desperate. So that's where he's going to get his bread buttered. So there's a reason why everyone's watching Pelinka and Pelinka saying, hey, I'm not going to just trade to trade.
Well, it's like what we talked about in the middle of the season. Like they were trying to figure out the center problem at that point, and Mark Williams ended up being something that was going to be they could get excited about. But then after that, it was like there wasn't any. Good centers that fit the system don't just grow on trees. And so you're muted. Do
you think they fucked up by failing the physical?
No, that's not up to them. You're a doctor. It's third party.
No, but it's his doctor. It's the team's doctor. Los Angeles' doctor. Yeah, but it was them that failed. They failed his physical.
But we've talked about this before. The doctors are supposed to operate like completely independent of the organization.
Yes, supposed to, but like we know, like again, who butters your bread? Is it the Los Angeles Lakers or is it Mark Williams in that situation. So it feels like a situation where they could have maybe used him, especially now the fact that he's heading.
So we want to trade LeBron. We want to pass guys that shouldn't pass physicals. I don't know what you guys had for breakfast, but I'm lost.
Well,
hey man,
I'm not saying
fantastic.
Whatever happened to the Hippocratic Oath?
So come on, you're telling me that this shit is like not common in the NBA? Tyrese Halliburton, everybody playing through whatever they want. It's all about what the team wants, right? Sure. And we don't even know why he failed the physical. He was playing games after that. Mm-hmm. They didn't say why he failed the physical.
Ever since, what was it, February? It was Super Bowl week, so February, the first week of February. Ever since we got the notification that Luka Doncic was traded from the Dallas Mavericks, anything is possible. We've talked about this. Anything is possible within the realm of making sure that it fits in the money aspect of things. But nothing is out of pocket, I don't think, anymore because of that trade. That changed the landscape of what we can expect in the NBA moving forward. So I don't know. I don't think LeBron's leaving. I just wanted to venture it to you guys to see if it was even something worth discussing. And it sounded like it was something worth discussing. And Sook, I can see that you're sad as a Laker fan to even think about the fact of LeBron leaving. I don't want LeBron to leave either, dude. I want LeBron to be with Luka and win championships. I get it. I want the same
There's no trade to be made. I don't get it. You floated the possibility of a trade without anything on the other side. Like
what do you mean?
Like if you're moving LeBron, I know you're saying the hypothetical of moving him, but like, what's the hypothetical deal then? Like, if we're gonna talk about it, what's but who?
Jared Allen.
He makes like 30 mil. You got to add more to the deal, right? It's like it's gonna become very lopsided. You could trade him for Embiid.
That's not a move that you make. Not with Embiid. Not at his age.
That's grody. What about Sabonis?
He makes less too. You'd have to add to the deal as well. So like, would they add Monk in?
Back to LA.
A little bit of depth.
And why would the Kings, a rival of the Lakers, forever trade their star? And why would the King want to be a King? I don't know.
I'm not saying that again.
This is why it's a hypothetical.
Yeah, this is what you're not having fun with this activity.
No, he's not.
He's really not.
No, he's not. He's not.
Did you think that Luka Doncic was going to get traded from the Dallas Mavericks?
I didn't think he was going to get traded, but the way that the trade happened was a little bit different. A top 75 NBA player went back the other way. It's like we talked about when the trade did happen. If you talk to someone that didn't really know hoops and you put both resumes next to each other and said, I'm making this deal, you could probably convince a non-basketball mind that on paper makes sense.
Fair enough.
No. But again, like creating that hypothetical before that trade happened would have been next to impossible. Thinking of a hypothetical package that would bring in Luka, I feel like, especially if you were to ask anybody, hey, what could the Lakers give up to bring Luka? I don't think anybody would have had something.
And let's not get it twisted. The Lakers did not give up Anthony Davis and a pick for Luka Doncic. They gave up somebody somewhere has Saudi Arabian money lining the fuck out of their pockets. And I don't care what anyone says. Either Nico or somebody else. Somebody's pockets are completely lined.
Did you guys see Nico Harrison say that that
fortune favors the bold?
Yeah, or like in the press conference being like, you guys get the vision now. And it's like, dude, you got the #1 overall pick. How would you have a vision of this 6 months ago?
That's literally one of the things I didn't bring up because it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So I didn't even want to fucking bring that up. But how the ignorance of that statement is insane. Insane.
Bro, the questions they asked Cooper too in the presser, insane.
Oh, that side eye to Harrison was hilarious, dude.
Like, what are we doing, man? It's all fucked. It's all fucked.
Last point, since we're on this trend, we talked about this texting yesterday, and I thought it'd be good to talk about it with the chat since we have chat here that's NBA peeps. Do you guys think that the Houston Rockets can win a championship next year?
Yes. Do I think they win? I don't know. Can they win? I would say, yeah.
Can they?
Can they? Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
KD's averaged 26 points per game on 5 different teams. He is shooting 50, 40, 90 consistently every single fucking year. He is one of the best scorers to do it. He has gotten better defensively since his Achilles injury, and he has become a better shot blocker. He's taking more on as a passer. And this Rockets team, despite what everybody thinks that, oh, he's not a leader, he's not this or that, he is not being brought in to do that. He's being brought in as a contracted killer. Get the buckets when we need it. We need an isolation bucket. We need a 30-piece. That's when we're going to you. We have the guys that we want to be leadership in this locker room. We have a team. We have a unit that we're very happy with. We need one guy. This Rockets team has sent a message to the entire franchise, to the entire organization saying, we're winning now. Next 3 seasons, this is our fucking window. Either get behind it or get the fuck out. And I love this trade for them. I think that in a season where it's going to be wide open, Oklahoma City is coming off a championship. It's literally going to be the hardest for them to win a championship next year than any other season. You have a Nuggets team in flux. You have a Lakers team that doesn't have as many options as you would think, and a Minnesota Timberwolves team that looked completely human in that series with Oklahoma City. I think this is a spot where you can compete, and the East, the way it looks, I mean, it feels like whoever's coming out the West next year is taking it home. I love this.
I agree. The Thunder set the bar, as we talked about all season long with how good this team was regular season. They obviously then finished it off with the exclamation point of the championship. And now they've set the bar on what you have to do to win a championship and get out of the Western Conference. And the Rockets said, okay, we don't have the scoring to do that, so let's go get top 5 all-time scorers in the NBA history. That's just chilling, ready to go play some basketball. And I sent you guys this clip and chat. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Kevin Garnett's podcast with Paul Pierce, but they talked about this, and they talked about the different styles of leadership of players. Some players are very more vocal, like KG is a more vocal leader. He tells guys what he thinks in the moment, like he tries to correct problems as they happen, whereas Paul Pierce was a little bit more of a, hey, just watch me type of leader, where he would just show up, work his ass off, do his job, be really good at it. And like, that's how he was a leader. And then when he spoke, people listened because it wasn't as often, but everybody leads differently. KD's going to come into this locker room. They don't seem like they have a leadership problem either. Like Udoka seems like he set up a good chemistry in that locker room last season, and it led to them being the number 2 seed in the very stacked Western Conference, which mattered. And you got a lot of young, impressionable guys in that room that are probably looking for a superstar type player to look up to. KD's not going to come in there and try to recreate the wheel. KD's just going to come in there and just be KD, work his ass off, get on his jumpers, show them how this is how a professional trains, this is how a professional plays, and this is how a professional sniper comes in and gets you guys 30 points. So let's learn and let's get together and let's go win a championship. That is leadership. Just because you don't go rah-rah in the locker room and go run around and yell and all that shit like that, that's fine, but that's not always how people lead.
Actually, the team's excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The team's got to be excited.
Yep. 100%. Suk, you got any additional comments about that?
No, they'll be dangerous. You take Dylan Brooks out of there, 16 points, 18 points from Green. I think Green is going to be replaced by Whitmore and Shepherd, and Dylan Brooks's role will be completely changed by Durant, and Durant is going to be way better in that role. We saw it numerous times where people are like, why the fuck is Dylan Brooks taking 17 shots this game? It's because their offense called for it. They did not have any other creators. And literally, if you don't think a team that was second in the West trading out Dylan for KD is not a massive, massive, scary upgrade, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the other pieces they have with Sengun and Thompson and Smith and
Jabari Smith could make another leap, and then you got 3 7-footers in your starting lineup.
Right. Jabari Smith is, I always thought that he was not used enough in that lineup because, again, Udoka got to the point where he kind of had an embarrassment of riches, especially at the forward position. But you got a guy like Kevin Durant coming in there, now gets to hang out with Steven Adams. Did they play together in Oklahoma City?
Yep.
Yeah.
Were they together at the same time?
Yep. They had a deep friendship too. Like even when they're playing together and stuff like that, you can see it on the court. Adams talks about it all the time. And B-Dot, I understand what you're saying, but I think KD gets a lot of unnecessary hate. He was traded there halfway through the season. They went to the postseason and they ran into the eventual champs, the Denver Nuggets. After that, it was just Beal. Like we blame KD like he was the reason that team fucking fizzled out when Beal didn't even average 20 points per game with the Suns. You know what I mean?
KD had his best statistic, one of his best statistical seasons. Was it last year or the year before? Rebounding and assisting the basketball. Because you know what you're going to get with KD scoring. Like KD is a 25 to 30 point scorer in the NBA, even at 38 years old. Like he's going to get you that. But where he really upped it up for me, watching him, especially and betting on him, was his rebounding. He was a willing rebounder, good enough defender, lengthy, obviously, but he was hitting the glass and he was doing a little bit of everything for that team, even when they were really bad. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a slam dunk, man. I really like what they're going to do with this guy, and I think that this is going to be awesome for this team. And like what B. Young said, look what SGA did this season. I mean, I've given him hate. We've obviously all talked about our feelings about SGA, but overall, and Sook's been on this wagon since the beginning, he is a leader. He was the MVP, and he played like it. He's not the big rah-rah type of guy. That's how he got the Aura name, because he just shows up, does his job, and those guys get behind it. They see the work every day. And what did that lead to? First time since Shaq to lead the NBA and win the scoring title, regular season MVP, finals MVP, and a champion. That's how you model your franchise right there. That's how you build your franchise on guys like that. There you go. I thought it was good to talk about this because we were texting about it yesterday, and I was like, this is good outward content, not just.
Yeah, and anybody that likens this trade to the PG trade last year, you're insane. PG hadn't averaged 22 points per game ever in like the last 4 seasons before he was traded. KD has been averaging 26 points per game regularly on 50, 40, 90 splits.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're the favorites or anything, though. Like
no. The Thunder are, and they should
contenders
for sure. Dude, they were the number 2 seed last year, and they couldn't. We talked about how, I mean, as you said, so really great when we talked about this last time. Dylan Brooks at portions was their best scoring option, which is like, that ain't how you win basketball games in the long term in the NBA.
And the scary thing is that Sengun was literally the worst high usage shooter in the NBA. So if he learns to shoot, that's another scary layer that gets added into it. And also, you got Steady Freddie. I know sometimes he can be difficult to bet on, but he's definitely a winning basketball player. And then you see them. I talked about this with you guys in text. It's a very underrated move. You're bringing back 38-year-old Jeff Green, 32-year-old Holiday. You're also bringing back 28-year-old Tate. All guys that have been on the team for 2 to 3 years. All guys have been part of this culture shift that was started when Ime was brought in. And it's really nice to see that veterans are being valued in the association again, because I'm sure it helped in that playoff this year of when they were struggling of like, what do we do? What do we do? And I think Jeff Green getting benched and stuff, and his reaction to getting benched was kind of the franchise realizing that, hey, he's not part of this culture. He's not really fitting in. It was kind of like Giddey with the Thunder. It's not that they're bad players. It's just the culture fit and the fit on the court just isn't right. So it's best for everyone to just move on.
Did you guys see the news about Jalen Williams re-signing with the Thunder? Not J-Dub, DJ Will, the other Jalen.
Yeah.
3 years, $24 million. And it kind of circulated a couple days ago that he was celebrating at the thing and something, and someone was like, oh, why is this guy celebrating? He only scored like 12 points in the finals. And it's like, first of all, you need to understand that in a team sport, there are not going to be guys past your 8-man rotation that are going to be in the spotlight, right? But these guys show up for practice. A lot of these guys are incredible in the locker room and what they bring to the table from a culture perspective. I guarantee you that most of those guys on that Thunder team and the way that they practice all have contributed to them winning a championship. So just because you say, oh, why is he celebrating? Like, because he won a fucking championship. He contributed to them. He had a triple-double in the middle of the season. It was in a crazy, like, weird game where 2. So like player. He's a great player. He's in the NBA. All these guys are great players. But like you're talking about, these depth pieces that get that casuals on the timeline or people that talk about this type of stuff go, oh, why is this guy even in the league anymore? Like, what does he actually bring to the table? Those guys are the ones that probably are the reason you create championship culture. Those are the guys that are the ones that build, that make things happen behind the scenes that we don't see as people that are fans, that create what you see on the court.
Jeff Green is 38 years old, the former 3rd overall pick after a great freshman season. didn't pan out into the superstar people thought. Then in the middle of his career, had a heart arrhythmia, had open heart surgery, and now has returned to the NBA for almost 7 years. This is the kind of guy that can teach your 21-year-olds what it takes to be a true professional for almost 2 decades.
Look at Charlotte. They have a desperate need for veteran leadership. A desperate need for vet leadership.
Well, I mean, Steven Adams is a good example. I mean, we talked about him a lot last year. He kind of became a little bit more back in the spotlight because he was healthy, but he's a perfect example. He's not going to be a superstar cornerstone building player on your team. But when you hear the franchise talk about what he means to that team and all the players and the coaches and everybody, they say he sets the tempo. He sets the tone in the locker room.
He hasn't been a consistent starter on an NBA team in almost 4 seasons, but the last 5 to 6 years, his team consistently leads the league in rebounding every single year. How does somebody have that kind of effect on a roster without playing at least 20 minutes per game, right? These are the intangibles. This is the stuff we love to talk about here on the show, and it's why we love to highlight players like these.
Well, because as Moss said, but they don't cash my parlays. I mean, it's just it's a casual thing, which is fine. And that's some people don't follow the NBA as closely or this league or whatever. It's the same with all sports, though. I mean, the NFL is the same way. You got the superstar players, right? But it's a lot of the time it's like the backup guard or something. That's the guy that's the most important guy in the locker room that they end up keeping around for so long because he sets
Thanasis.
Exactly.
No, dead ass. I didn't believe it until Jeff T got up on his podcast and he's like, y'all don't know. Thanasis is the best fucking teammate in the world. Like, he's been fantastic. And he's a hooper. He's an absolute hooper. And I was just like, all right, man. Like, when you hear it from the hoopers' mouths, that's when I kind of start to, like, take stake and, like, put some actual, like, value into what they're saying. It's because if these guys who are actually playing with these guys on the court, in the gym with them every day, if they respect them, there's something that we're not seeing in the 82-game season. You know what I mean? Because there's in an 82-game season, how many practices are there? How many road trips are there? How many team dinners are there? These are the things that matter.
Let's finish off with this since we're on this tangent. And chat's still here. And we got a couple more minutes. We're already over time. It doesn't matter. I sent you guys this video. I'm not going to bring up the video, but Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, they were talking about this. They were talking about how players nowadays are getting injured because Jay Williams brought up the idea that there should be less games. We've talked about this we've had discussions about the injuries and all that type of stuff. And Kevin Garnett was standing on business about the point that these guys just don't practice hard enough, which causes them to then their bodies break down playing because they aren't used to the rigorous aspects of playing a 48-minute basketball game consistently, because the NBA season is long. It's grueling. Like, there are times where guys sit out, they have to rest and things like that. But KG had he was like, man, we used to fucking run each other down back and forth all summer long. We were playing 7 games and like we were doing all this shit. And now these motherfuckers are sitting with trainers for 30 minutes and then they get out and they wonder why they can't play through a full game. I mean, he's got a point. Like, how do you train your body to get through a regular season? You got to play. You got to make your body do that at some particular point. I mean, there's levels to it, obviously, but I agree with the take, man. I think they just need to practice harder and push their bodies at that particular point, not to injure yourself. Obviously, they got a lot of trainers and things like that too, and I'm sure you can speak on that a little more, V. But like, I think the point's valid.
I think some of it has to do with the intensity with which everybody is now training at the AAU level. I think it was Gerald that kind of brought this to my attention last week when we were talking about it. So I looked a little bit more into it, and AAU players are putting more strain on their bodies than they ever have before, because like we've said, the talent pool that's coming into the NBA year in and year out is just way better than it has been in years past. And it's because there's just so many more players. It's a very lucrative thing to make the NBA, right? So now there is an entire market of kids that are trying, and with personal trainers, early morning training sessions before practices. And it's during those developmental years, I think, that is now causing a little bit more of a strain on their body later on in life. And also the game has just changed. Like the exact same drop back step, like that negative step that everybody's taking that's talking about with the Achilles injuries, that's something that wasn't really in the game until a lot later on. Like Kobe suffered that injury. When he suffered his Achilles, could you talk to me about a lot of players that had suffered Achilles injuries, right? It was very uncommon. Now we had 8 or 9 players this season, right? We just saw a MLB pitcher, Griffin Canning for the Mets, go down with the exact same injury. And it's not a thing that just like it feels like a freak accident, but it's wear and tear again and again and again till eventually the wrong moment and it snaps. And I feel like that's what it is. Maybe, yes, you can strengthen it, but I think players are just putting such a strain on their body from such a young age. Like guys like KG, they didn't have personal trainers. They didn't have one-on-one training sessions. They were playing on the street, pickup basketball, or they were practicing with their team. So things have changed. We need to find out, I think, what the answer is, but that's not as simple as just saying practice harder. You know what I mean? I think that with technology and everything like that, there's a lot going on. Maybe some players need to practice harder, but I think that's too much of a generalization. We need to figure out what the fuck is going on because players are pushing their bodies to levels that they haven't been pushed before, despite load management, right? The athleticness, athleticness, holy fuck. Athleticism of players today.
I like athleticness better.
Is on a different plane. And I think that too has so much to do with it.
Sure. What do you think, Suk?
Yeah, I just think it's definitely a lot of the AAU stuff. As someone who has his knee reconstructed and I've torn my Achilles, I went through it in my 20s trying to play hoops. And I started playing hoops when I was 12. I was playing on my regular team, on my community team, on my club team. I was never not playing. And from what I was told from Dr. Alex Rozantsev, who's like one of the greatest knee surgeons in the whole world, he did my experimental reconstruction. He basically told me that I took too much load when I was 16, 17 years old. There was no reason for me to play 24/7. But on the other side of things, I do think KG might be onto something because you do kind of have to set a tone of how much your body is going to have to go through. And LeBron talks about this, that I make sure that my body is always at the point where it's ready to take on an NBA workload. It's the reason why Steve Nash retired. He said, I can't prep anymore. It's not that I can't play, it's I can't go through the mental load of prepping. And for KG to say that, 11 of his first 12 seasons, boys, he played 70 plus games.
Yeah.
So he's basically telling us something from an educated standpoint. He was also a guy that was absolutely carrying his team, the big ticket MVP, like his best guys he played with, like Wally Serbiak and stuff. So I think KG's onto something, saying like, hey, we might need to change the way we train, but obviously it's not just be absolutely grueling, but like V said, you have to have a mental shift, because I saw this stat that we average 1.3 Achilles tears the last like 20 years or something, but this year, like V said, we had 9. So something's going on.
It's a strength thing too. I feel like at a certain age, when you're playing a lot younger, like Suk just said, you're 12 years old, 13 years old. Like Suk, were you lifting weights at that time?
No, never.
Exactly. So if you're not strength training, but you're consistently putting wear and tear injuries on your ligaments, on your like every part of your body, you're gonna suffer those injuries. And it's also why I feel like so many players, when they get that NBA, you realize you need to put on weight. Michael Jordan, in his first few seasons after getting beat the fuck up by the Pistons, what did he do? He put on weight. Look at LeBron James in his first season versus what he looks like now. Look at a guy like Giannis when he came into the league. Even a guy like Jason Tatum, who was the skinny kid when he entered the league from Duke, has now put on significant amounts of weight. Even a guy like JB, you have to do that. You have to strengthen the muscles and the ligaments surrounding these areas if you really want to play at that level and at that high of an intensity, I think. And it's also why LeBron hasn't, because he makes sure that every single day one of the year, he is good to go. He is 100% and his body is ready for 82 games, like Suk said. That's a great point.
Well, and it's kind of circling it to what Chat's kind of talking about too, which we could probably spend a lot longer talking about this, but we are going to stop the show soon. But this is also has to do with the development of athletes as a whole. Like we have at this particular point in time, boys, and we've obviously been watching sports now for 25 years plus. Mm-hmm. This is the most incredible level of athleticism I've ever seen in my entire life. And I feel like that a lot of people can agree that the athletic accomplishments that we are seeing of these athletes is at the highest level, right? And you would think they can't get any higher because it's the human body, but we know that not to be true. However, there is a line, right? Of this is the like pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour consistently. like NFL players running a 4.2 all the time, like basketball players playing 82 games in a season and dunking and throwing and like getting up their bodies to be able to take on that every single day. What's the limit? Where is the limit? Because we're finding out that your body, you can train it. You can do all the things we talked about. You can get to these particular levels, but there is a limit. And like you can push and push and push and push and push. And then you find out what the limit is. And then you're out for 18 months because of your ACL goes or your Achilles tears or you have Tommy John surgery or whatever those things may be. And it's because of the rise of just we are obsessed with becoming the biggest, the strongest, and the fastest. And like sometimes those things aren't necessarily equated to being champions. Being great at something doesn't have to mean you have to lift the most. That doesn't mean you have to run the fastest. It doesn't mean like combines. We're obsessed with combine times. How many times does a combine time make somebody a great player? Not very often. They just run fast. They're just fast, and that's fine.
The Nets'
but
Keon Johnson has one of the greatest combines of all time, and he can't even figure it out on the court.
Yeah. We want some money off him this season. Thanks to you, son.
Yeah. Thanks for that, sir. But it's just I just find because like you said, you guys have both kind of agree with the sentiment of what KG is saying. But I think someone in the chat earlier said this too, that Doc Rivers may have mentioned this as well, of like the guys used to take off in the summer, like a month or something, or they had a proper like go away, go do whatever you want to do. And then when we come back, we're going to work. And like I feel like that there's not that. It's like we've come so obsessed with it being 24/7. I'm working out, I'm shooting, I'm going here, I'm going to the gym, I'm going this, I'm training, I'm and all that type of stuff. And eventually all that starts to catch up with you without having, a tiny bit of a break mentally and also obviously physically. So
Kobe's instilled a different mindset in all these guys, and that's what's happening now. Nobody wants to leave the gym. You love to see it, but guys, go take a break. Let's take care of the body. Yeah,
and also please stop slandering Kobe Bryant's name. He's rolling over in his grave. You guys doing that, man? Come on now. What are we talking about? You know what I'm talking about, Suck.
Yeah, wildness on the timeline.
That's insane. Wildness. All right, boys. Chad, I know you guys are enjoying this. We could do this the rest of the day, but let's go hang out for the rest of the Sunday. We appreciate you guys tapping in for the All Sauce team today on the channel. If this is your first time being here, give us a subscribe or a like on Twitch or on YouTube, or if you're watching us on X, give us a follow there as well. Go follow these beautiful amigos at Jessook. Go follow Vsauce. Go follow myself at Sweatpants Jesus. Go follow us on Instagram too. We're posting more content over there. If you want to get involved with our gram and our TikTok for all of our content all across all the socials, go check us out here, there, and everywhere. Boys, anything else?
Happy Sunday, boys.
Sunday. Happy Canada Day. Long weekend.
Is it Canada Day?
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday. Baby. It's Tuesday, but everybody's got the Monday off.
I know. It's beautiful. I'm so jealous. Go Canada.
Bruh, I feel like Canada Day is like every 6 weeks, man. I feel like you're always telling me that today's Canada Day. Like
every day's Canada Day, 6 hard.
Yeah, as it should be. Well, that's fun. You got any fun plans for Canada Day?
Yeah. So right after this, I'm gonna go see my cousin. He's gonna get Kanika's cousin is marrying my cousin, so I'm gonna go have lunch with them, go hang out with them a little bit. Yeah. Kanika's uncle is marrying my cousin, so gonna go have lunch with them, and then after that, I'll probably get up.
Whoa! Wait,
the uncle, he's not like old like an uncle. It's uncle.
Well, no. He's not unk. He's
not uncle. Technically, he's unk.
He's the same age as me.
Yeah, he's the same age as Sug.
And they met, I'm assuming, through y'all being together, right?
No, they did not. I went on a double date with them, and the girl after the date was like, Sook looks exactly like my uncle, and then the uncle she was talking about was my father.
This is how it goes down.
Yeah. Small world.
I am. Wow, that's incredible, dude.
That is some Indian shit, Ma. That is some Indian shit.
Not 100%. What
I'll allow it.
Of our lives is going on?
Some Game of Thrones shit, man. Holy hell.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. All right. Well, you go.
After that, I'm gonna go check out some fireworks, go do some other shit. It's gonna be dope.
Nice. Well, go enjoy that. Go enjoy the day too, chat. We appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us, man. If you want to sweat out the parlay we cooked out for the WNBA, it's strolling at the bottom of the screen. It's not going out on the timeline today, chat. You guys just got it on the show, and that's it, because that's what you get for tuning in.
When it's greened out, though, we're posting it everywhere.
Absolutely. It's going here, there, and everywhere. Me and I might give you guys a 2-teamer on the Instagram timeline. We'll see. We'll chat about it and see what we're going to come up with. We appreciate you guys for stopping by. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Betspresso to give you all the moves from the weekend and then give you the plays tomorrow. So give us the like and subscribe so you know that when we go live, and we will catch you on the next one. Boys, it's been a pleasure. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Sunday. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about